children.
On the glove wearing, if hands cut or sore, whatever, when handling the food and you're preparing is correct. But I really think that when you're actually packaging, regardless of the state of your hands, you should have gloves.
Can you explain
That's
why?
all that I want to...
No, can you explain why?
You mean for the edible products?
Yeah, when you're, because most baked goods, you're going to have to actually touch them to get them into bags or whatever your packaging thing is. And it's just, I just think that for making sure that you do not transfer anything that could possibly compromise somebody's, slight immune system.
Identify yourself.
If you just state your
Mark
name.
Below.
Thank you, Mark.
And I think everybody wants to do this, have it in a nice, clean, kosher way, and we want to have, regulation about that. The one little point, I think there's probably a lot of people that disagree with a number of different things that are being proposed. The one thing that I had a difficulty with is the individual packaging, and that would be maybe difficult. Individual doses doesn't seem to make sense. Everything, as long as everything's being done right and it's labeled in its main thing, why? I don't understand the reasoning behind it. It doesn't seem to make sense to me to have each dose individually wrapped if it's sold as 2 doses in one package and it's all labeled appropriately. I just question that. What was the reasoning behind that?
I'd have to look through my...
There's nothing off the top of your head.
No, well, there's a quantity limit on the amount you can sell, and it's an ounce per patient any time. So it was simply, we were just trying to determine, based on the ordinance, which limits an ounce per visit, we needed to somehow figure out a way, because I don't think the ordinance really figured out doesn't explain how to deal with a brownie that might weigh more than that there.
Is that an enforceable rule that's being enforced on cannabis clubs? No, I don't know.
None of this is all proposed and new. Nothing is...
We're talking about edibles. I'm talking about combustible form of marijuana. You can't buy more than an ounce.
That's correct. That's correct. That's in the ordinance.
And it's a statutory law that it says that it has to have certain information that is required. And it says 3 things that are very important. We call it the IRQ. Is the identity, what it is, so people can do some value comparison. The responsibility statement is void since it is packaged and sold on premises. And the quantity has to have both the metric and the English system. So you have to have ounces and grams in that case. So that's what we want to have. Ours is very more technical than what you will have for environmental health. So we would like to have a workshop where you have a lot of, actually we have a lot of questions for you to see how you package it, how you sell it, how much. That will determine, for instance, what kind of device you're going to have to use.
With Butter Brothers Edibles, and we've been producing edibles in the Bay Area for about 5 years now, or longer, with a consistent quality and consistency. And I'm excited about the new regulations just to actually get something kind of on the books, because everybody is a little bit nervous about edibles and how we're going to handle it. And there's nothing out there right now. And I guess first of all I wanted to say that I feel like I've been floundering in certain ways just because there is nothing out there for me. I really want a home. I really want to have some regulations and a business license as well. Because it's like, I want to jump through as many hoops as you guys want me to jump through, but I want a business license. Like, no, I want to be able to do what I do. It's like, I don't want to have to meet all these codes without being somewhat safe or somewhat like being able to file. It's like, and I don't have to be a business, I could be a cooperative, but it's like, I want to be able to do what I want. I want to be a nonprofit. I want to be part of the community, but I want to be able to do what I want to do. And I want you guys to come in and check out what I do, because we do it right. So my first issue, I guess, is the individual doses that are being included. And the first thing about the individual doses is that you actually say that it's okay to produce tinctures. Now, a tincture is going to come in a bottle that has, I don't know, maybe even 50 to 100 doses in it, you know what I mean, in a small little bottle. It's like, there's no way that you're going to require somebody that's producing tinctures to do them in each little, like, dot. But the other thing is, like a brownie, a lot of brownies are stronger or less strong. But I do think that you've covered it. I think that products that have multiple doses in them can be allowed, but I think that when you talk about the dry weight of cannabis that is actually in each dose, people can regulate how much cannabis they're ingesting and selling. So it's kind of like you've doubled it over. You say, like, you want it each one package, but you also want the weight in it. So it's like, I think you're okay with just going with the weight, like how much weight is in each dose and how much weight is actually in the package, and allowing for a bar that might have more than one dose, or a tincture that is going to have way more than one dose in one bottle. But I do think that the tinctures are needed, and there's no way that you can require them to go into individual, bubble package lots. I don't think that's a fair assessment.
Each person who brings in the edible products, should be a member of that cooperative or collective. So there's no way for a corporation or nonprofit, let's say some of them are corporations here, to be that member. It's just, I don't think it's structurally possible. But an individual could be a member of two different dispensaries and be that person to provide. And in my view, then that individual, John Smith, who might be part of an incorporated dispensary, takes the responsibility and those issues when he brings those products to another dispensary.
My name is Ray Ledbury. I'm with Access to Drug. First of all, I'd like to thank you, Barry, and the rest of the gang there for taking the time out to put together this ordinance, and hopefully everything will work. And actually, as I look at it, it seems like everything is there except for one thing, an expiration date. As a person that does tea, my shelf life is more, it's longer than most products. But being a person that is in the medical cannabis, field, do feel that it would be a good idea to have an expiration date on the vapors that are being produced.
Yeah.